to school for firefighting last year, and I had my EMT class, which required us to do some ride-alongs. I've seen some pretty amazing stuff, and some stuff I don't want to even think about anymore. But the one thing that I had to see that will never leave my mind is a mother. She was driving, and she had 3 children in the back, and she texted her husband what he wanted for dinner, and that was the last thing that her kids got to see, because all 3 of the kids died, and she has to deal with that for the rest of her life now. So when you take your phone out and you just look down for just a second, that's all she did, and she doesn't get to see her kids anymore, and her husband has to deal with the fact that it was a text to him. And I've been guilty of it. I've texted and drove, and I'm sure some of you have. I had a couple kids back there admit to it too. It doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. Like, in my mind, I think that I'm a good enough driver. Looking down for a second is not going to make it. It's not going to matter. But it doesn't matter. You're still risking that person's life that's in the car next to you. And I'm sure most of you are thinking, you've already learned this. It's kind of common sense that texting and driving isn't, like, okay, you know that it's illegal. But according to Edgar Snyder and Associates, in their article titled Texting and Driving Statistics from 2017, 11 teens die every single day due to texting and driving. And my good buddy last February was pretty close to dying from somebody else's mistake of texting and driving. So it kind of hits close to home. And that you've already learned it, but something's not registering, because obviously people are still dying every day because of it. For my first, there are 3 reasons why people should not text and drive. 1, it is illegal. 2, it's very dangerous. And 3, there are other methods to communicating while you're driving versus texting and not paying attention to the road. First point, texting while driving is illegal. According to Wisconsin's DOT, Department of Transportation, in an up-to-date page from 2017 called Cell Phones, Driving, and the Law state, Wisconsin law bans texting while driving. And some people compare texting and driving to be even worse than having a DUI and drinking and driving, because at least when you're texting and driving, you're fully aware of what you're doing, and when you're drunk driving, you're at least paying attention to the road. You're not looking down at your phone. And also found in the 2015 article by Philip Quisenberry, texting and driving can be explained by the general theory of crime. And 96%, he conducted a survey, and 96% of respondents that have been caught texting and driving knew it was illegal, so they were fully aware of what they were doing, whether they were putting themselves in risk or other people. And in Wisconsin is a $400 fine if you are caught texting and driving, along with other repercussions, whether you crash into other people. For my second point, it is dangerous. This is actually my friend that was in the accident. You can see his skull. This is kind of a bad picture on here, but you can see his skull through his forehead. His car doesn't have a roof. They had to cut that off, and his leg was actually mid-chin. It split at a 90-degree angle completely to the right. And he's gone through 7 surgeries. He has a permanent rod going through his leg. He had to get a skin graft off his thigh, so he's got a big nasty scar. And he's got a permanent scar going across his forehead that's like this long. And this was due to somebody else's texting and driving, like I said. And this was actually a couple weeks ago down in Texas. A 20-year-old kid crashed into a bus of, I think it was 15 people, and killed them. And all he had to say was, "I'm sorry," because down in Texas, texting and driving isn't illegal. So he has to deal with the repercussions of killing those people, but he doesn't get in trouble for texting while he did it. In Distracted Driving and Texting, an article from 2015 by the Wisconsin DOT, one in five crashes involved distracted driving. In 2015, there were 24,000 car crashes. That means that every 22 minutes there was a car crash due to texting and driving. And most of you, if you do text and drive, you're gonna say, well, I haven't hit anybody yet. What does this pertain to me? Well, you can say that, but it doesn't matter whether you haven't hit anybody yet or not. It doesn't make it right. It's illegal. And is that text that's saying, okay, worth the 5-year-old's life in the car next to you that you'd have to live with if you killed for the rest of your life? And to prevent this, new technology has been brought about, and which, I don't know what kind of cars you guys all drive, but newer cars, they have on the dashboard, you can hook it up via Bluetooth to your phone, and when you get a text, your console will read it off, the text off to you. So you don't have to look down at your phone and read it, you can just keep paying attention to the road. Keisha Young is a student from Montana University that handed out a survey to get a reaction of thoughts on the voice-activated texting. The results state 52% of respondents said that they would use voice-activated if it was more readily available, whether somebody installs it for you, but in newer cars it comes already available, so you don't have to worry about it. And this new technology, with this new technology, you don't have to risk killing yourself or other people that are around you, or breaking the law for that matter. This is right here is a picture of what it would look like on your dashboard. And yeah, it is tempting to just read it off there, but if you hook it up with the volume and everything, it reads it off for you, so you don't have to worry about looking at it. Versus looking down at your phone and not seeing what's in front of you. Today we have covered the 3 reasons why you shouldn't text and drive. We talked about how it is illegal, how it's dangerous, and other methods of communication while you're driving that don't include not paying attention to the road. So make a deal with yourself to not text and drive, and maybe you could be the difference whether that kid in the car next to you is or not.